I don't know what's this opioid thing, man.
Well, being a crackhead wasn't cool back then. Being a crackhead wasn't cool. Now it seems like they're making it cool to be drinking lean and syrup and.
It's the most dangerous. It's the most dangerous thing that's facing, our society.
Are you
so why sign an artist that would promote that?
Because I already answered that question. You weren't paying attention. She asked me talent or issues, and I said talent. But I have to. I can't give up on people.
Don't you think that's hypocritical though? You're saying
it's opportunistic. Yeah. I got people to feed. I got a business to run.
You're gonna make Dame Dash take this clip and call you a culture vulture.
Who's Dame Dash? You brought him up. I don't even know him.
There are two words in the Roman language. One is J-U-S. J-U-S gives us the word justice. J-U-S in Latin is man's law, from which we get our word justice. But the word fos, that which is right and just in the sight of God. So there are two kinds of law. There's fos, which is God's law, or just, which is man's law. And so the kings of Europe and all of the royalty, we say that they have a divine right of kings. But no one's ever stopped to think, what are you talking about divine right? That sounds like God appointed them. But when you're talking about God's law, you're talking about the Pope. You're talking about the Vatican. Because in Europe, all the royalty are made royalty by the blessing of the Pope. And so that's why you can say that you have a divine right, because the papacy and the Pope has anointed you to be King of England. So therefore, you have a divine right. Why? Well, because he represents God.
Guys, I cannot believe the amount of so-called truthers that are sharing this cult documentary. It's got red flags written all over it. Do you really think that Hollywood is going to expose Hollywood? There's pictures going around with the creator and Mel Gibson all doing the all-seeing one-eye thing. And when you watch the documentary, you can tell that the agenda behind it is to induce fear into parents. And the long-term aim is for them to scare them into microchipping their children in case of child trafficking. There's always an agenda with these really popular documentaries. And you really think that they're going to allow you to watch something that's going to expose them at the movies? Like, where is people's discernment with all of this? It's obvious that this is coming from the cult.
Those messages are that black men are dangerous because if you look at the news, there have been studies on this. Local news overrepresents black folks as perpetrators, overrepresents white folks as victims. So the message that gets sent is they're dangerous, and specifically to you. They are not only bad people, they're going to hurt you. So therefore, we want to keep them on that side of town. We want to keep their children in those schools over there. We don't want to work around them. We don't want to live around them, et cetera, et cetera. So I think that message comes through loud and clear in the way that media represents people of color. You know, whenever we, thinking about Tamir Rice, the 12-year-old child that was shot in Cleveland by police, when that happened, what did they do? The first news story in Cleveland that made a big splash was about Tamir Rice's parents and the history of domestic abuse and criminality among his parents, not about the cop that killed him. We talk worse about black victims than we do white killers. What did we say about Ted Bundy? Oh, he was so smart and he was so quiet and he always seemed so nice. Every time one of these white boys goes and shoots up a school, what do we say? We had no idea he was going to do this. So we talk better. We have more sympathy for white folks who commit mass murder, bury bodies under the house, cook them up in a soup pot and eat them, right? Than we do black folks who were killed by police. We start digging for every bad thing they ever did. We want to know if they had a juvenile record. We want to know if they'd ever been arrested. That's what the media does. And until that changes, I'm afraid white folks will stay in denial, and it'll be very hard for us to move forward, whether we're talking about cops or just average everyday folks.
You see anything strange? Look like clouds going behind the 93 million mile away sun. That's interesting, isn't it? I reversed it and inverted it here so you could see it a little bit better. Isn't that interesting? I wonder how that can be. 93 million miles away, and the clouds are going behind it. And in front of it, in fact. Clouds in front of it, and clouds behind it. Boy, that's a really strange phenomenon.
There's a secret in this picture, and it's hidden in plain sight. The man in the white hat is Jack Daniel, creator of the whiskey brand in his own name. And this picture was taken in the late 1800s, nearing the tail end of slavery. A period when black people couldn't sit amongst their white counterparts. So then why is this man sat down, right next to the owner at that? Well, I'll tell you why. It's because this man's father, Nathan Green, is the real creator of the Jack Daniel recipe. This revelation remained a closely guarded secret for over 100 years. It wasn't until the New York Times published this article in 2016. That same year, the company who now owns Jack Daniel made the decision to finally embrace Green's legacy, rightfully adding him to the public records as their first master distiller. But unfortunately, this didn't come with any reparations for the descendants of Nathan Green, who continue to work for the company today.
You must have lost your goddamn mind. You must have lost your goddamn mind if you think I'm gonna believe this. Now, some people call me a conspiracy theorist. Nah, brother, I'm a realist. Can somebody tell me why all of the cars are white? No, hang on, let's just break it down a second. So there was an explosion in Johannesburg. Yeah, some underground gases. And I said it to y'all, something don't sit right. Tell me why all the cars are white. What kind of all-white party is this? I don't know if it costs more to have colors in your car. I don't know. But this is looking staged. This is looking like a pantomime. This is looking like a movie. All of the cars are white. Come on.
If this is true, it changes everything. According to historical records, the first ancient civilization known to us is that of the ancient Sumerians. The Sumerians existed over 6,000 years ago, predating the Egyptians by 1,000 years. They resided in a region known as Mesopotamia, which encompasses present-day Iraq and parts of Iran, Kuwait, Syria, and Turkey. The Sumerians referred to themselves as black-headed ones, or black-headed people, and held a belief in gods known as the Annunaki, described as children of the earth and skies. Some researchers speculate that the ancient Sumerians had a remarkable understanding of the universe, as depicted in artifacts showing the solar system with planets orbiting the sun. Adding to their intrigue are depictions of ancient handbags and bracelets. The Sumerians made groundbreaking inventions, including the wheel, alphabet, and the calendar we use today. They also developed irrigation systems for farming and established a system to measure time in seconds, minutes, and hours. Some believe that knowledge was bestowed upon them. The Sumerian civilization appears to have been one of the most advanced of its time, challenging modern explanations of our history. The discovery of 30,000 stone tablets from ancient Sumeria includes the story called the Epic of Gilgamesh, which features a great flood, an event also found in many other religious texts. Scientists link the end of the last ice age to several temperature anomalies and a significant rise in sea levels, likely caused by an asteroid impact. This catastrophic event may have led to the rapid melting of ice and widespread devastation to various species, including animals, plants, and humans. Some speculate that the tale of the Great Flood is not a mere myth, but a way of passing down knowledge through generations to ensure its survival. Recent findings, such as Göbekli Tepe in Upper Mesopotamia, dating back at least 11,600 years, have questioned the age and origins of the Sumerians. It is still uncertain where the ancient Sumerians originated from, and some theories suggest they may have migrated south into southern Mesopotamia, where the people of Göbekli Tepe became the Sumerians we know today. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments.
Sorry, but what is happening to New York? Nah. Actually can't believe this. This is mental. When you hear that cities and places are sinking, you think of Venice and the Maldives, probably, don't you? Not flipping New York. Apparently New York is sinking, yes, sinking, because the buildings are so damn heavy. On the 300 square miles that New York sits on, it is apparently 762 million tons, which is 1.68 trillion pounds. Jesus. Newfound research, apparently the city is literally sinking between 1 and 2 millimeters every single year, potentially even more. You just keep damn building. It's like all these cities like Dubai, London, all these places, they just don't stop building, so it's just gonna flip and sink. That's crazy, man, but hit that follow button and I'll keep you updated.